What's up, everybody? It is Colin Dijs here with the Debrew Affiliate Hustle. I have a new guest today coming from Krakow, code-wise at the Volume Department, Director of Sales, Pawel. How are you doing, Pawel?
Hi, Colin. I'm doing well. What about you?
I'm doing great. The weather is not too great in Amsterdam, but I assume it's a lot better than in Krakow.
It's a lot better, I'm pretty sure.
What's the weather like right now?
It's pretty cold. I think that we have 1 or 2 maybe.
One
So,
degree. All right, then we're pretty
yeah.
good with our 8, 10 degrees. But what I really want to talk to you about is, of course, sales. I would say you're probably one of the best people to interview when it comes down to sales. A lot of sales experience, and now one in the leading roles, one of the biggest tech startups in Europe, right? Growing
hmm
really fast. And then you are one of the, I would say, key employees responsible for keeping the sales front together, right? Am I right?
I hope so.
I
Yeah.
can imagine. You should give yourself some credit because what do you think when it comes down to sales? Mainly affiliate marketers listen to us, but a lot of digital marketers as well. And I would say
hmm
sales is usually the main aspect of a business a lot of people do not focus on. We see a lot of business development in terms of products, relations, but without sales, you don't have a business. So if there's no money coming in, the front door will be closed soon. And I would say there's several different aspects when it comes down to the sale, whether it's either phone sales or online sales, that needs to be taken into consideration. For yourself, what is your favorite part about doing sales?
So basically, Colin, I've been connected with sales for the last 10 years. I started with offline sales, and then in 2014, I switched to digital marketing, so online sales mostly. And to be honest with you, the best part here is that you are always connected with people, and you are on the first, on the front line, I can say. So the thing is that whenever a potential customer comes to the company, you have to take
Yeah.
care of the client, of the prospect. You are like the face of the company. So that's why I think that it's the most important thing for us as people to be like um, independent, of course, but also very responsible for everything what we do.
Right. So would you say then, when it comes down to a personality like that, you would prefer like an extrovert person in that position, like very enthusiastic, welcoming the new prospects, trying to create that relationship quite fast, of course, to prepare them for the pitch?
I think so. I think so. That's for sure. It is not like the general thing, but I think that most of the sales reps I have already met, the best one I have already met, they were very open. They were very proactive. Um, they always welcome the client, the potential prospect, with the enthusiasm. So that's for sure very important asset here.
Right. So let's say you have a new batch of salespeople coming into your training, right? Let's say it's the first day code wise. What would you give them for advice if they are introverts? Because you can imagine, like, a lot of people who are interested in sales might be really good close talkers, really good relationship managers, but do not have that energetic extrovert vibe around them. If you what would you tell people for advice to get out of their comfort zone?
hmm Sure. So the most important thing is that they don't have to treat it like we are talking about online sales right now, okay? Because whenever we have like the offline sales, it's quite different. Because if you have like the face-to-face meeting, so it's quite hard to go from this comfort zone, I can say. In terms of the online meetings with prospects, like doing like a cold calling, cold mailing, whatever. So it's easier because you don't necessarily see the face of the second person. Mostly it's like the Skype or Zoom conferences and so on and so on. So what I would advise them is that to just smile to the phone, I can say, because whenever you are smiling, the voice is completely different. You have to
Right.
play with your voice. So whenever I have new people and the sales department, and most of the new people, they are not connected. They were never connected with sales, to be honest with you. Like we have right now 11 people in the sales department, and I can tell you that 8 people they weren't connected with sales at all. I just took them from the street and trained them,
On
and
the street.
right now they are quite good because basically we always try to work with the voice. So that's the most important part because right now, whenever I talk to the client, I have only voice. That's the only thing I can play with
True.
in terms of the conversation. So I can say that even if someone is not a very open person, so they can be a very good sales people. They can be a very good sales rep whenever they will just sit down there, they will just take the headphones, they will start calling, they will start trying because it will not take too long to find a pitch, but after a few
You gotta
months,
get
they will
into
be
it.
able to do it.
Right. So the tone of voice, very important, and then just get your attempts right until you find a consistent pattern where you see, I would say, the leads pick up to a sale, right? For
Correct.
your suggestions, right? Because I've been working in a call center for 2.5 years. The tone of voice, of course, the cheeky salesman, like the setup you guys are doing is very different than like cold call outbound. Is that what I used to do? Um,
Hmm.
but what would you suggest regarding the tone of voice? Because I can imagine even non-salespeople, if I would ask one of my employees to call a customer about somebody asks, "Can I have the invoice?" and they send the invoice, the customer replies, "I didn't get it," and I'm like, "Hey, can you call that customer and tell them that the email address is wrong or whatever, and we want to send it, but it's an issue." What I often hear is like, "Oh, I will just send them another email, or I will send them a text message." And people they have this illusionary wall around this phone. All these youngsters, they're on their phone all the time, but they're afraid to call somebody. You know what I mean?
I know, I understand it totally. So that for sure was something I was struggling with here in the company. I mean, we didn't collect any phone numbers. Like when I got the team 1 year ago, we didn't have phone numbers. So what we had, we only had email. So we were supposed only to email customers. And that is something what you are talking about, that people were afraid of calling. And that's the part that you have to take the phone. You have to give him a call. You have to tell them about this invoice, about everything, because that's the fastest way, and that's the way that you can really um, forge the relationship with a potential customer or with the current customer.
Right, exactly. And I feel like, as an extrovert person, the person I am, and I've met you before, and I know the person you are, like your personality, very outgoing, right? A very good person for a sales team. But I always feel like then the people who either are interested in sales and who have to be molded by the attitude of sales. It doesn't mean you have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to mean you have to be rude, but it's a combination of energy and persuasion, and you just love talking with people to get you into that position. But now my difficult question for you today is, a lot of our affiliates, they promote whether through YouTube, like having a YouTube channel, or they have blogs. Being the sales director, I know you do a lot of phone and email. How is your sales copywriting?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
How is your sales copywriting? So your written sales letters. Do you have somebody else for that, or do you do it yourself?
No, I prefer to do it by myself, to be honest with you. Whenever I have to create my own letters, I prefer to do it by myself. But also, to be honest with you, I prefer to give a call. So whenever I have phone number and I have even calls or cold mailings, I prefer to give a call. No, I prefer to convince them to see the solution instead of writing to them.
Yeah, all right. That's the favorable way for you. Okay, so now I have an interesting proposition for you because what would you give as advice to somebody who is afraid to call and actually wants to communicate by email? Because you must have a lot of experience with email. How would you say they can train themselves to be better copywriters email wise?
Hmm. So first of all, the email has to be short. It cannot be like a wall, because whenever you put a wall of the content, then I can give you my hand that nobody is going to read it. So the thing is that it has to be short and it has to be quite appealing. So you have to give there some ideas how you can help this company. I mean, let's for example think about volume. If I want to pitch someone and I know that they might be interested in volume tracker, so I have to create such an email with the additional value. So with the value that the volume will bring to this company. So I don't know,
Wow.
for example, better optimization and so on and so on. But
No, I actually saw you. What a good example is, sorry to interrupt you. I saw
mhm,
your email from 4 hours ago. I don't know if the marketing team wrote it or if you wrote it. It's the Black Friday deal for $1 on the profit plan.
so that was created by our marketing team.
Oh, there we go, Powell. There we go. Fair
Yeah, of
enough.
course, but
It looked kind of cheeky already, but um, fair enough. At least you're honest about it, right? So,
yeah, yeah.
in that flow, because the email is good, right? The offer is strong. So you say keep it short. That's one thing, and I 100% agree. Keep it short. But you say persuasive, right? Keep it. You used a different word. You keep it attractive. So
Mhm.
that's obviously very open to interpretation. How would yourself make an email attractive? Like when you try to pitch something. Is there
Mhm.
like a secret trick you could share or anything?
So first of all, you have to understand the industry. You have to understand your own business, what values this product can bring to other to the potential customers. The most important thing here is to understand better problems of your potential customers. So right now, I can imagine that few companies they can have different problems with I don't know, tracking, with their data, with conversions, and so on and so on. So the magical trick here is to understand and to discover their business, their business and their problems, the issues. So
Yeah.
whenever you have some ideas, so then you can play with them. You can build the email around them.
So how would I discover then those specific inquiries?
You mean like, for example, it's always different for different industry. Like I was connected with marketing automation a few years ago, for example.
Yeah.
Whenever I did like outbound and did some cold mailings or cold callings, so then I try to understand better all of the businesses. I mean, we sold it to B2B or B2C. So then you have to create like a list, and the list of problems like those companies they have. I mean, for example, whether it's like the marketing issues or they have problems with the CRM or they cannot automate everything or they do not nurture leads. So you have to go to their website, you have to register or you have to sign up for the newsletter and you have to
Right.
see
Okay.
how they do everything. Even with the e-commerces, I went to their website. I bought something from them, like a small product, and I was looking at them how they proceed with the funnel. So whether I receive like the thank you page or whether they send me like the thank you message, what kind of messages they send to me after the purchase, and then I collected all those information. And when I saw that something was missing, then I
Yeah.
used it to create such an email.
That's smart. So basically, what you want to do is you want to infiltrate their system, take everything they're working with to make your pitch stronger, whether it's buying a product, going to their website as a user, subscribe to a newsletter. But what you're
Correct.
saying is get as much information as possible, find
Mm-hmm.
their weaknesses, which is basically in your pitch, your opportunity, right? You're trying to solve a problem. And then when you make your offer, you at least would have the pain points, right?
Correct. That's correct. You have a lot of tools that will help you with that. Like, um, I don't know if I can share them with all of our listeners, but again, I don't know. We can check with Data for example. So Data will always show you the plugins they have, whether they use this kind of system or that system. So we can always use it, So that knowledge will be very helpful in terms of finding a new prospect and
Right,
to
exactly.
understand them better,
That's
of
good
course.
advice because that I would say that's the best advice. You would use that for emails, you would use it for sales, you would use it person to person to prep. I mean offline, right? Face to
Mm-hmm.
face.
Correct.
Now we had your inbound, how to write emails, because this is all the things affiliates do. But I rarely see affiliates do cold calls. That's like either enterprise level or really more in a developed stage. But we do have some people who are like product owners. What would be your secret behind the perfect cold call?
What would be my secret? So it's nothing special here. You have to be prepared for the call. So you have to do a good research and you have to have a good and appealing first outreach. Without a good approach, you will not be successful. And the good approach will always be there when you have everything prepared. So whenever you want to call to someone, you have to have a list. You have to have all necessary information about the particular company. So
Okay, so
it's same with me.
let's try. Yeah, true. Let's try and do a demo. Is that cool? So let's say I subscribe to Volume, right? I'm
Mm-hmm,
doing it right now. And then I put all the information and the payment doesn't go through because I don't have sufficient funds on my credit card, right?
mm-hmm,
And then you've never talked to me, right? And you would
sure,
call me. So it's not like a real cold call, but it's kind of cold because it's a lead who haven't purchased yet, right? It's like abandoned checkout.
sure. Mm-hmm.
What would you say to get that lead to buy? Whether it's like for the affiliate an affiliate product, which they see didn't check out, or for a company like a real user.
Mm-hmm. I would call them like a real user. I mean, I would treat you like a volumes user right now. So I would just introduce myself, saying that Colin, I saw that you registered to volume and we have some issues with the payment. Of course, I would tell you about the issue we have because we can check it. So let's suppose that you don't have enough funds on your credit card. Yeah, so I would tell you everything, right?
So you would
Then
say, "Hello, Colin, you fucked up your payment."
no, like that. If you want, we
Something
can
like
play
that.
right now. If you want, I can um, give you an example right now.
Yeah,
So
let's do it.
all right, let's do it. So hey, Colin, it's Pawel from Volume. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Colin, I saw that you registered to Volume and I saw that you had some issues with the payment. So I'm calling to ask if everything is okay and if you can change your payment method, as we can see that this payment will not go through Volume. So do you use maybe PayPal?
I don't actually know what's wrong because I just did the checkout and everything went fine, right?
hmm So basically what I see here is that you have some issues with funds on the credit card.
So I don't have enough money.
Yeah, you don't have enough money.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
It's not. You can check it, of course, maybe. Um, there.
So can I pay you cash?
No, sorry. But we do support wire transfer as well as PayPal.
Okay, then I will do the wire transfer.
Okay, no problem at all. I will send you an email with all the necessary information. Is it okay for you?
Thank you so much, Powell. Damn, you're so great. I wish you would work in my company in the sales team.
We can talk about it later.
Man, that was good. That was smooth. Because
Okay.
what I like about the user, when you have a conversation with the user, they're unpredictable, right? Because what I like is if you give an agent a script, right, and you give them a fixed script which they have to stick to, then the user can do very different things, right? Some users say, "Oh, thank you for calling. I will make the payment now," or "Oh, yeah, I saw it didn't go through, but I don't want it
Mm.
anymore." But some users might say, "Oh, didn't it go through? I thought it did. Are you trying to scam me over the phone? I don't know who you are," right? That
Yeah.
might be weird.
Yeah. Sure. That's the way. But to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of scripts. I prefer, and I always say that to my sales people, that they have to find their own way. So they have to create their own script.
True, I agree. As long as somebody is comfortable with their own flow, and it's all compliant, right? All according to the rules,
Yeah. Sure.
then
That's the important part here.
then people will feel more comfortable. And then basically we go back to being like an extrovert or introvert in sales. It doesn't really matter as long as somebody is comfortable in their own vibe, and whether they are sitting in a group for 14 people, 11 people, or they're sitting by themselves in a cubicle. All that matters at the end of the day is that the sale gets closed, right?
Yeah. And the most important thing, remember, Colin, that they can't sell. That they have to advise always. So if you want to be a successful sales rep, you can't sell anything. You have to have knowledge about the industry. You have to have knowledge about the market, and then be like an advisor for a potential customer. So they have to, you know, um, trust you. So whenever they trust you, it's better because you create a very good relationship with them. So whenever they go farther, they will always be there with you. So I do have a lot of clients that they come back to me after 2, 3 years and they ask me a lot of questions like, "Hey, Pawel, can you recommend me another system?" And so on and so on. So that's because if you do not sell them and if you just advise them to select the best option, so then they will treat you better and they will for sure come back to you.
Right. And what would you do when they do reach out? Would you help them yourself, or would you assist them, transferring them to like customer support?
So I try to help them by myself first. If I don't know something, I always ask our support team to help me with that. But I always try to help them or try to listen to them because that's the most important thing. That if they see that you listen to them carefully, so then they always um, are better for you.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that does actually make a lot of sense. Customers come back, you treat them like
No,
royalty because
it's all
they are your
connected.
business.
It's like the circle. So I truly believe in the harmony between sales, support, like management, marketing, product management. So it's like the one circle. So whenever a sales rep, if they do a good job, and then support team do an onboarding and they do a great job with the customer who is already
Which team is that?
sorry.
Which team is that?
So after sale, if sales rep secure the deal and
Oh yeah,
then did the introduction to a support team, and
yeah,
support
yeah,
team is responsible for an onboarding for this customer, and they
yeah.
do a great job during the onboarding process. And once the customer grows, they receive account manager. So look here. So the customer was very satisfied with the sales rep. Sales rep did a great job. Then support people, they did a good job with the onboard
Is
with
that
the
like in
setup.
real time, or do they get like booked on another call?
It's always like the book on another call. You cannot
Okay.
do it in the real time. So I
Right.
would
It's like one day difference or something.
yeah, it's like 1, 2 days difference because the thing here is that the introduction is the most important part. I can tell you how it looks in volume, for example. So whenever we secure a deal, we introduce the client to a particular person in the support team. So then they can schedule an onboarding with the support person. And then the support person tries to explain to a customer how he should set up their campaign. If they set up everything correctly and if everything is great, they grow. So they get account manager. So then account manager take care of them. And you know why I'm telling about it is that, as I told you, I believe in the harmony between all of those teams, because whenever a customer is satisfied with the support they receive, so then
Right.
marketing team has easier job to do. I mean, because this customer, if he's satisfied with the product, with the people, so then he is doing marketing by himself. So he is able to put some good reviews on the forums or business groups, whatever.
Right. And so basically the whole circle grows. So basically you're not only sales in sales, you're a little bit of sales everywhere in the company.
You know, we have to be. If you want to be, if you want to have like the successful sales team, it has to be everywhere. That's the part here.
Sounds like a lot of work,
It is. It is, in fact.
but it's worth it for you.
It is. To be honest with you,
It's
yes.
worth it because then if you do your job good, then you have amazing partners who send you cake by mail, all right?
Yes, correct.
Nobody knows what this is about, but this is an inside joke. All right, I have one last question for you, yeah?
Hmm.
Interesting one, complicated one, yeah? Now I'm actually going to turn it around. What would you advise an affiliate who wants to join the volume referral program on how to push sales without stealing my business?
um, but would you be able to say it again? Because I don't know if I understood correctly the question.
Okay, that's fine. We have a lot of affiliates listening to this podcast, right? It's
Hmm.
thousands. And these affiliates, most of them do CPA, but there's also a lot of affiliates who promote tools and softwares for like the
Hmm.
recurring commission. And Volume has a referral program, right?
Correct.
So what would you give as advice to the affiliates who want to promote the Volume referral program?
So an advice, guys, for you is that you can always go to our website and you can register first. So you will get the referral link. And if you want to refer volume, just reach out to us, to the sales team as well. We'll help you with that. We'll be more than happy, because we can even help you to understand better how to promote volume further. So how to reach out to other people, and how to um, successfully resell that product to them.
Mhm. So basically, they would become an external part of your sales team indirectly,
Indeed, indeed.
and they get a little commission for it as well. Well, little is quite a big percentage right
It's
now, right?
20%. So it's a huge,
20% recurring. That's pretty good.
yeah, it's
I
very good, to be honest with
I can tell because I know.
you. Yeah, previously it was 7%. Right now it's 20% without any commitment. So it's a huge thing.
Yeah, and it's like once you have a good software, and like honestly, right, we have worked with many different trackers before. We're not going to name any names, but once you have a reliable product, a reliable team who basically continues to develop the product. I mean, if version 1 is great, then version 1.0.8 must be amazing, right?
Correct.
And we see a lot of these trackers, they get updated once a year, or it's a very small team behind it. And everybody has to start somewhere, right? So respect to everybody trying to hustle their way into the business, but dealing with volume on the Codewise brand, like almost 200 people supporting two products, of course you will have tremendous results. And even the affiliate partners there for you might indirectly join your team. Do you have any
That's
other? No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why we are the biggest one in the market, because we really take care of our product, and we have a lot of people responsible for volume tracker. We have great product owner. We have great developers. So that's why we are getting better and better every month.
That's amazing, man. I keep following the journey. Of course, I'm very heavily involved in everything, but that's why I keep my eye on things. Do you have one last piece of advice for everybody listening right now?
Hmm. So if, of course, if you want to start your journey in the sales department, so I would firmly recommend you to find some articles, to go through the articles and to learn more about sales itself. Because a lot of people, they think that sales is not very important, and it's not true. It's the most important factor for all of the companies. So sales is a power, and it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy profession. So I would recommend you to go through it, to start calling to random people, to even start talking to random people on the street. Believe me or not, I did it when I was younger. So I started
Really?
conversation with random
That
people
sounds
on the
like a good
street.
story.
It was. but but yes, so whenever you want to be a very good sales rep, you have to even practice with yourself in front of the mirror. So you have to talk to yourself in the mirror, and you have to practice everything. You have to.
What should I say? Colin, why are you so sexy? Or should I say something else?
You can say whatever you want to Colin, you know. But basically, yes, I think that if you guys want to be better, you have to go and you have to practice more. Some people they have a lot of problem with face to face meetings. So whenever you have problem with the face to face meetings, go to the I don't know the bathroom in front of the mirror and start talking to yourself in the mirror. So that's a very good training.
That makes a lot of sense. Get more confident, get more in the flow, in the pattern, envision it, perhaps.
Hmm. That
That's good
that
advice.
that's
Well,
right.
we can all see why you're the sales director.
Thank
You
you.
are a very smart gentleman.
Thank you so much, Colin.
Thank you for being here, Powell. I would love to have you back some other time. Big news for everybody. We're going to move the podcast into Dijs University. So the new product launching 1st of January 2020. Uh, Volume, Zero Park, Codewise, the entire podcast crew will move itself inside behind a paid gateway. So enjoy this last podcast with the head of sales, one of the biggest guys in one of the biggest European startups. Paul, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
I
Colin. Thank
hope
you.
to see you again next year in person and for sure on this podcast.
Thank you so much, Colin.
See
I
you
hope
soon.
so. See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye bye.